It's good, YouTube. Today we're going to talk about Late Registration, Kanye West's sophomore album. If you didn't see my video on the college dropout, I listened to that for the first time ever a few days ago, so go check that video out. I really liked it. And yeah, man, let's get straight into this. So this is going to be a bit more organized, I'd say, than last video. I'm just going to go through every song and give off like what I thought about it, what I liked or maybe didn't like about the songs. And then I'll just have my final thoughts and rate it at the very end of the video. I'll have chapters depending on, if you want to skim through or not, or you just want to watch the whole video. So anyway, Late Registration, let's go run through the songs real quick. So Wake Up, Mr. West. I was glad we got the intro with his teacher, that guy who was like, oh, I knew you'd come back, Kanye. I know you're here again. So I thought that was awesome. I thought that was funny. I had a nice little piano intro into the first song, and basically telling him, wake up, Wes, wake up. So here we go into Heard Him Say. Really flowed in. There was a flow from the intro to the first real song, I guess. It was a calm beat. Adam Levine was on that, which I didn't expect at all. It's the first time I've listened to the album, by the way, if you're new to these videos. I thought the 808 was fire. Kanye talks about how the devil teases us with lottery tickets and, cigarette addictions. There's a nice contrast between Kanye and Adam. I almost thought it sounded like an outro, like a song you put at like the end of an album, just because of what it was talking about and how it sounded. It sounded kind of mellow and quieter, which was really a 180 for me from the first track on the Dropout. Like that to me was way more like happier almost, but not in a bad way at all. Like I liked the Adam Levine song at the first song. I just thought it was way different from the first album and really surprised me. So then we go to Touch the Sky. This one, he had some horns in this. It was a bouncy 808. I believe he had, I thought he had Lupe something in this one. Yeah, he did. There was a guy named Lupe, I forgot his last name, but he had a good verse, man. Honestly, his verse was really good. I liked it a lot. This one I felt like was a lot more cheerful, a lot happier. He had great Kanye bars in it, which is where Kanye, he'll say something like, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's Kanye being Kanye, Catchy chorus. Yeah, man, I thought it almost had like a Cuban feel to it with the kind of the 808 pattern in there, but I thought it was produced really well, so I love that song too. Gold Digger's on here. This is the one song I'd actually heard before, coming into this, because it was such a big hit. Even now, people still listen to that song with Jamie Foxx in it. His vocals are awesome, beats awesome, really catchy. Another Kanye bar, 18 years, and on the 18th year, found out it wasn't his, that classic feel, and the classic Kanye 808 feel. So really catchy song, did huge numbers, I'm pretty sure it was topped the Billboard for a while, so yeah. Great song. He brought back skits again. I like that. Skit number 1 was funny, and it kind of poked fun at college fraternities, much like how the first album did. Maybe not fraternities in general, but poked fun at college like the first skits did. In the first album, Broke, Fee Broke, I think that's how you say that. I thought that was hilarious how they put that in there. Then we go to Drive Slow. A slower beat, obviously. It's calmer. We're more focused on Kanye's rapping. And more horns. I've noticed there were a lot of horns and trumpets on this album. Switches up to fast-paced, somewhat in the middle. Paul Wall's on there as a good verse. He shouts out Houston, that's where I'm from. GLC's in there, really nice vibe. Meant to be relaxed, obviously, like you're just driving through somewhere. Love the trumpets, and the slowed effect at the end I pointed out too, because that was really cool. It reminded me of like the Chopped and Screwed feel that that's been really popular in Houston, or that was really popular in Houston, where they kind of slowed music down and replay it. Lean rapping basically is another word for it, but I thought it was cool. He had that at the end. My Way Home, Common had a cool intro, really hard hitting bars, cool outro, vibey beat. All the beats can be said, they're all vibey. Interesting because he talks about he never wants to go home again, so I wasn't really sure what that was about, but it was a cool message to say the least. Crack music, speed up the tempo. It's the first choir we hear. I was expecting a lot more choir or choral music in it. Wasn't that much. So this was, I believe, the first time we hear like an actual choir for have a majority of a part of the song. But another horn on this. Again, he likes his horns in this album. This one has a harder message. Kanye himself goes, God, how could you let this happen? Obviously talking about like the struggles that they faced and all that stuff. Choir gives an interlude. The Game's on there. I didn't really hear him really clearly, but I know he was on there a bit with the choruses and all that. And then Malik Yusuf has a powerful outro, you know. He's like, people are in my community, like they trade hooks for the Grammys, you know, but they're struggling out there. So I thought it was a deep song, man. Going to Roses, this is a more spherical beat, kind of like kind of bouncing, I guess. Like when I say spherical, like bouncing beat, like very light on the ear, kind of. He talks about his family members, unfairness between the rich and the poor, more powerful messages. He's got a cool excerpt from Bill Withers and Patti LaBelle, who I don't even know who those people are, I'll be honest with you, but I mean, they're credited with it and it sounded good, so they're probably, you know, they're probably legendary artists. Really thoughtful track, more intense and serious, I put, from what I remember. I just remember it being, like the beat presents it in like a, more of a problem and not really just like a hit, you know, song that's meant to chart the billboards or whatever. Go to Bring Me Down, got a violin instrumental in there. Good chorus from Brandy. Got a Kanye line in there, man. He flexes, so I put Kanye flexes more on this track. He sounds like the Kanye I was expecting to hear going into this album, where he's flexing, you know, he's more boastful, but it ends with a chorus by Brandy that was really nice. So yeah, so definitely a great song. Addiction, so here I have a note, and as like all the songs felt really well put together. They felt streamlined. Like up until this point, there was no like fluff. Like it felt like every song was the perfect length and you're powering through them, and it's just like all these songs are like the right length, and you know, it doesn't feel like there's too much or not enough. It feels the perfect length up to this point, and that continues too. Addiction, I put the most different beat so far, kind of the weirdest, I guess, beat up to this point. He talks about his addiction, asks people what their addiction is. He's got the same flow on both verses, but it's kind of a cool flow. Elta James repeats Kanye's thoughts on this, talking about how it all feels good, you know, the things they say are bad feel good, so I keep doing them. And he also has a nice little outro, so... there we get to skit number 2. He goes back to the college mindset. He's like, they're chanting broke, 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 how they're all broke, and I thought that was hilarious. How he visits back to there's another skit too after this, but you got to visit back, see how the college people are doing, so that was funny. Then we go to Diamonds from Sierra Leone, or I'll call it Diamonds. This was a harder track. It talks about diamonds and how people are dying for them, and then how the people who are actually mining them are dying for them, so that was cool. The beat was crazy, higher tempo. I like Kanye's Forever, Ever, and Ever, Ever, Forever, Ever. That was awesome. I loved Jay-Z's verse on this song, dude. Jay-Z's verse I thought was amazing. The transition to his verse I thought was amazing. He's got a nice like diamond joke in there. He has a bar that's like, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Let me do my business, damn. I thought that was amazing, bro. Honestly, one of my favorite Jay-Z verses I've heard like all time. Like I loved the Jay-Z verse on this song. I thought it was amazing, and the beat was amazing too. So we go from that song, Diamonds, then we go into We Major. I love this song too. For me, the most enjoyable like back-to-back songs on this album were Diamonds into We Major. That was like, I love this part of the album. More trumpets, you know, there's nice snares. They got like that McDonald's kind of ringtone in the background, like ba-da-da-da. I thought that was so cool, man. Felt upbeat, it felt happy. Like these two tracks definitely felt the most happiest on the album, but I'll get into that later. I thought really smooth chorus. Nas flows awesome. He's awesome on it. I loved his verse too. Really doze choruses in there. It had to grow on me a bit, but I liked it. You know, I ended up really liking it. What blew my mind is this song is 7 minutes long, and it felt like a 3-minute long song. Like the time was not an issue for this song. Crazy synths, I put crazy production. Beats crazy at the end. He has a part where he directly shouts out the name of the album, Late Registration. He's like, you know why I'm calling this Late Registration? Because I'm taking him back to school. I thought that was cool, man. Yeah, I mean, nothing but praise for this song. I loved We Major, great song, and I love Diamonds, great song too. So then we go skit number 3. This one's actually not about college. I don't think it's about like the brokenness and how poor people are and the struggle that they're going through. So I was expecting it to be about college, but it's not really about, or the school in general. It's not really about school. Hey Mama comes on, heartwarming track. Really like the background vocals. His lyrics are awesome, man. I don't know how anybody could hate this song. It's just Kanye being, you know, pure Kanye. Like, this is what we love from Kanye. It's a nice uplifting feel. It's a cool outro. He's talking about his mom, nothing but good things. So nothing but good vibes too. Celebration brings back, again, happier vocals, more upbeat sounds. very similar vibe to Hey Mama, I noticed. Cool synthesizers, cool backgrounds, you know, cool outro. And, you know, he's talking, it's kind of funny when he's talking to his kid and like telling this kid how he was in an accident. I thought that was hilarious. But at the end, you know, it's still a celebration. So that was awesome. Skit number 4, we go back to the fraternity. They kick Kanye out of the group because they found out that he's been making beats on the side, and they found his new shoes that he's wearing, and everyone at the fraternity is supposed to be broke. So since Kanye broke their rule of being broke, they've got to kick him out of the fraternity. So go figure. Then we hear Gone. Gone is another one of my favorite songs on the album. Love the bouncy beat, love the funny lyrics that Kanye had. Nice hook from Cam and Otis, nice verse from Cameron. There's like 5 verses on this. Consequence has a verse. I loved how his verse was over the strings, which is all Kanye's production. You know, the way he raps over the violin strings and the bouncy beat, and his hook is amazing. Kanye's verse is amazing too on that. He says he's the inspiration, you know, like what are they gonna do without me when I'm gone? They're all inspired by me. Just felt like he was being himself again. Really nice track. I loved Gone. Then we go on to Diamonds from Sierra Leone again, not the remix. And you know, I don't know how to feel when artists put like 2 of the same songs or a remix of a song on the album, because in your mind you always have to like one's gonna be better, you know, one's better than the other. But I don't know, this I didn't feel that vibe. Like, so the first Diamonds to me kind of felt more like maybe kind of boastful. You got that amazing Jay-Z verse on there, which is awesome. Like, the remix is really good, but something about this original song too is also really good. Kanye's verses are amazing on this song, like on the original one and on the remix too, but mainly talking about the original. Like, his verses just go crazy. He talks about his growth, his experiences he had. They're not as focused on like the whole diamond misconception thing about the blood diamonds and all that, like the other one. But this one's really cool. I liked the regular diamonds too. So the last song goes late. Track 21, I think. There's more violin strings on this. It's a really cool soulful intro with the, you know, little girl stop crying. This one's really about college. He's too late to class. He gets put in class with all the slow people, and he's talking about like how, man, I'm not supposed to be here. I was in middle school with them. I know they're dumb, man. I'm not supposed to be here. Thought it was funny, man. He also pokes fun at his album being late too, because I don't think he might have released like 2 of his albums on time. The rest have all been delayed, but that's Kanye, man, and it's a chill beat too. So that was kind of the run through of all the songs. I tried to go through that fast, and it still took 12 minutes, because just to show y'all that like what songs are my favorite, you know, what parts I liked about them, prove to y'all I actually do this and I don't just look up at people's opinions. Like, I really do listen to these songs and write down thoughts about them. So my favorite songs, probably Gone, Diamonds, Gold Digger, and the one with Nas, what is it, We Major. I like those. Those are probably my favorite songs. Least favorite song might have to be the Drive Slow. I felt like it was a good idea. It was a good vibe. I just felt like that one dragged on a bit too much. I don't know though. There's still parts of it I love though, is the problem. But if I had to pick a least favorite song, it'd probably be Drive Slow on the whole album. So, okay, final thoughts. So, honestly, the album, I was not expecting an album like this at all. I was expecting more of a kind of continuation from The College Dropout, if that makes sense. The albums are completely different, first of all. Like, again, I was expecting more of a continuation, more of a flow. And the best way I can put it is like the first album, there's a lot of church choir, there's a lot of like colorfulness, a lot of happiness. People are vibing, you know. Kanye's got a workout plan, you know. He's like really happy. He's really in the mindset. And this album felt more like, maybe more serious, I guess, more like kind of chilled, laid back, relaxed, cooler almost. An analogy that I wrote down when I was like writing for this review is like, the first one felt like an Annie musical, you know, and it's done really well. Like, the production on both albums, first of all, is like 10 out of 10 amazing. So I'm not trying to say this in a bad way, but it did feel like an Annie kind of High School Musical kind of vibe, right? And I was expecting this to be a continuation of that high school vibe, but really he doesn't mention college. Really, he doesn't mention college like at all in his songs on this album, besides Late, you know, because that's kind of the closing track, so he does talk about it. And then his skits, obviously. His skits and Late or pretty much the only tie-in he has back to the College Dropout or anything like that. So it's really just a song made for him to kind of, you know, have this new style, and he's kind of just grouping it in as with the trilogy, like it is. So that was the first thing, really different. That being said, I almost like this album more, bro. And I know that's weird, but like, I don't know. I feel like they're both amazing albums, but I don't love like gospel music, or not gospel, maybe like the church choral music as much, or like soulful music. Like I'm not a huge fan of soulful, and we got a lot of that in the College Dropout, and it was done amazingly. You know, I gave the album a 10. If y'all haven't watched my video, I thought it was amazing. This one to me just feels like a little more laid back, a little more kind of less church oriented, and I like this one better for some reason. I just like I don't know, I like how he worked on this one. I like the beats on this one better. I don't know, man. I wasn't expecting to like this one better, but like that keeps coming back to me when I go back through it. So yeah, I do like this one better. Yeah, you know, it's not really, like I said, it's not really related to college as much as I thought it was going to be. There's not a huge connection. There's not really like a set in stone, like Kanye does this in the College Dropout, and remember that, and now we're continuing, and now he's going on to here and doing this in college. Like, it's more of just kind of his own separate thing. A couple points: Gold Digger on the album almost felt out of place. Like, that to me felt like it belonged more with the College Dropout kind of vibe, and it kind of feels out of place in this album, which is crazy because that's a lot of people, that's the only song they know off the album, so that was interesting. But yeah, man, I mean, all in all, it's a good album. Production's done really well, obviously. I enjoyed a lot of it. Great songs on it, great vibe. And so, yeah, for the rating, man, we're going to give it a 10. So 10 out of 10. So this whole series I'm doing, I'm going back through Kanye's whole discography and listening to all his albums. And yeah, so far the College Dropout got a 10. And Late Registration has a 10 too. So comment down below, did y'all like this album better? Did y'all like the College Dropout better? What are the differences? Did I miss anything? Yeah, man, I think that's all I got. So thank y'all for watching. If y'all watched this whole thing, man, thank y'all. And peace out, man. See y'all later.